Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Milani Fluorescence UV. So as you can tell in the title, I'm going to do a date night type of look. So, just get started. I do want to start with a bare face today just because I am getting ready so you can kind of get along. I did do my eyebrows off camera, unfortunately, because I do not have anything drugstore for the brows. I finished it up and I still haven't picked it up yet. So that's the only thing I'm not using drugstore wise. So let's get started on this look, and I'm gonna zoom you into my eyes. I'm gonna start off with the Master Conceal from Maybelline concealer in the shade 30, and I'm going to put that as my eyeshadow primer just because I don't have an eyeshadow primer from the drugstore. And I do feel like worst case scenario, concealer is always your best option to use as a base for your eyeshadow. With my Eco Tools sponge, I'm just going to blend it out and put it all over my lid. So for my eyes today, I'm going to use my Milani Sultry palette, which is a very nice cool tone palette. And I'm thinking about doing a smoky liner just because, I want to be a little bit sexy since it is date night tonight. So first thing I'm going to do is just going to use an angular eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna go in with the third darkest shade, which is right here, and that is called After Hours. All I'm really doing is just stamping the liner. So this is how I do a smoky eyeshadow liner. And so you just create your wing. Okay, so for beginners, I always feel like you should do your eyes first and then you should do your foundation, just because if you do mess up, if you bring your liner too low or anything, you can always clean it up with a makeup wipe, and it's going to be like so much easier for you to start again. So with a really small pencil brush, which is my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH39, and I'm going to use this like medium brown, which is a neutral brown, and it's called Smoking Hot. All I'm really doing is trying to not smoke it out, but don't bring it up too high. So now with a clean brush, which I'm using my BH number 7 brush, I'm just going to blend that out a little bit more. Well, as you can tell, my color is mostly vanishing away, but that's perfect because I do want it to be more of a softer look. So don't worry, we're just going to keep on going in back packing motions and just add more color and then blend out. I'm going to use the shade After Hours again, which is the third darkest color, and I'm just going to stamp it into my lash line with my Make a Shack T55. Make sure you just wing it out. Also, when you're doing this, just make sure you don't have a lot of product in your brush. You're able to control how much you're actually putting in your eye. First thing you're trying to do is just to get the shape and like the blendedness and the smokiness of it. See, like right here, I felt like it was a little bit too harsh, so you just blend it out with a clean blending brush, and then you keep blending and smoking it out more. And then just until you like the way it looks, the way it's blended and how dark it is, and then you can move on from there. With my Morphe X Jaclyn Hill JH39 brush, I'm going to use the second darkest shade, which is this one right here. And I'm literally going to pack it mostly the outer half of my eye. Do not swipe, just pat it on. With my T55 Makeup Shack brush, try to drag out the dark brown just to make it like a wing. You can see this is like using no extra eyeshadow or anything. And it will naturally blend itself out. If you do feel like you need to blend something out, just make sure you use a clean blending brush and then just blend out whatever you feel like it's a little bit too harsh. So next thing I'm using again with my angular brush, which is the T55, I'm using Naughty Night, which is the darkest shade, which is basically black. And again, I'm tight lining and I'm putting it closest to my lash line. Make sure you tap it in and nothing else. Don't swipe. So the black, I'm actually going to bring it really close to my lash line. So you can tell the difference, how much more defined it is. But it's just so small and like it's not too harsh and it's not thick in the front, which is what I really wanted. So then here, just lightly create your wing. Okay, so with my Morphe T13 brush, I'm just going to blend out the black that I put in just to make it a little bit smokier. So for my final step, I'm using my JH41 brush and I'm going to use this very beautiful nude shade, which is Bare It All. And I'm literally going to put that above the smokiness just to give me a very nice highlight. Literally putting that on the rest of my lid. And then again with my BH Cosmetics number 7 brush, I'm going to blend that out again. With my Morphe GH49 brush, I'm going to use the shade Tan-tation, this one right here. I literally have it on one side of the brush. So I'm just going to make sure the eyeshadow goes up so I can define my crease a little bit and it doesn't go into the white shade. And I do want to bring that a little bit into my brow bone or my brows just so it can give me more of a highbrow contoured look. Okay, to tightline my upper lash line, I'm going to use my LA Girl Glide Gel Liner in the shade Very Black. And I'm just doing it where my top lashes are. And then I'm just going to get it really close to my lash line. Mainly in the outer half. And with my T13 brush, which is a pencil brush, just smoke it out a little bit more. Make sure you work fast with these because they do dry out. And I just feel like they're very pigmented, so it gives you more dimension and more drama. You can literally already tell the difference between one eye and the other. I'm going to zoom you out real quick so then we can do the rest of the face. Okay, so for my Drugstore primer, since I do want glowy skin, I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Spotlight Illuminating Primer. So this I'm just going to put on the highest parts of my cheekbones, on my nose, on my cupid's bow, on my chin, and a little bit on the sides of my forehead, just where I want it to be the most glowy. Honestly, I kind of don't like this product. It just smells a little bit weird. And it's not as dewy as the Becca Perfecting Skin. And I heard that this is like the dupe for it, but it's just not I don't like the smell. I think I can't get over it. It smells really old, but it doesn't break me out, so I don't think it's expired. I think it's just how it smells. The next thing I'm using is my Catrice Illuminating Prep and Fine Dewy Glow Fixing Mix. So the reason why I'm using this dewy spray is basically because I do want my skin to look glowy underneath, and because I'm using such a full coverage foundation, I do need it to be a little bit more illuminating and not too matte. So for foundation, I'm using my Milani Conceal Perfect 2-in-1 foundation and concealer in the shade 03, and then I'm using my LA Girl Pro Coverage High Definition Longwear Illuminating Foundation in the shade Fair. I'm mixing the both of them because one is full coverage and one is dewy, so I feel like, you know, that's a perfect combo. Then with my Eco Tools, I'm just going to blend that out into my skin. So I really do like this sponge, this Eco Tools sponge. This one comes in a different color, I think. I just got it in a very dark green because it was like a holiday season. I got it during Christmas time, and I think this was a limited edition, but this sponge is really nice for foundation and everything. It's a really nice drugstore sponge. I do think it's better than the Real Techniques sponge, and I hate that sponge mainly because I do feel like it does lift off my foundation. It just clings onto the sponge and gives me wet spots. I don't know. That sponge did not work for me. I used to use it a lot, but it's not my favorite anymore. I think the combination of the setting spray and the dewy primer from Physicians Formula and the foundation, I feel like it's a really nice coverage and very glowy skin. Okay, for the next thing, I'm going to use my Wet n Wild contour stick in the shade Oaks on You, and I'm going to use this to contour. I do feel like this is like a really nice cream bronzer, so I'm just going to put it where I want to warm up my face real quick and then blend it out with my sponge. I want to do this before my concealer just because if I did go a little bit too ham, I can bring my concealer down to my contour and just correct it. And because I have, you know, my foundation still on this brush, I do feel like it blends out a lot nicer when you do this step first instead of your concealer first. Okay, so with my Maybelline concealer, I'm going to put it under my eyes, in my forehead, just to highlight my forehead a little bit, on my nose, on my chin, and a little bit on my cupid's bow. With your sponge, just be careful not to go too far up in the outer corner. And this is a really nice time to be able to clean it up with this. For setting powder, I'm using my Maybelline Fit Me powder in the shade 10 Light. And again, with my sponge, I'm just going to matte everything everywhere where I put concealer. So I'm going to set my concealer. I'm going to literally bake my nose because it doesn't matter if it's winter or if it's in the summer. I do get really oily, especially on my nose, so I'm just going to let it bake a little bit. To set the rest of my foundation, I'm going to use my Maybelline Superstay powdered foundation in the shade 120. I'm going to use my JH01 brush, and just make sure when you use powdered foundation, you tap it into your skin instead of swiping. And then in your neck, just make sure you bring it down a little bit too. Next thing, because I am looking a little bit too straight and I have no definition right now, I'm going to use bronzer. Okay, because I don't have a drugstore bronzer, I'm going to use something inexpensive in my opinion. It's my Sephora bronzer in the shade Costa Rica. With my bronzer, I'm going to use my JH02 brush. Just going to lightly bronze up my face. For blush, I'm going to use Bellissimo Bronze from Milani Cosmetics, and make sure you smile through this so you have the most glow on your apples of your cheeks. I do like this blush because I feel like it gives you such a very nice bronzy glow. Also, I'm using my JH04 for highlighter. I'm going to use my Precious Petals from Wet n Wild, and I'm using my Makeup Shack T32 brush. Just make sure you put that on the highest parts of your cheekbones. Honestly, Wet n Wild has one of the best blushes ever. Or not blushes, highlighters. So if you do feel like you went a little bit too ham, just go in with your sponge and just melt it into your skin, and then you can add more if you feel like it, which I'm gonna be a little bit extra, and I am. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in so I could do my lower lash line right now. As you can tell, the black eyeliner fell into my lower lash line, but it's okay because we're gonna cover up. Don't worry about it. I have really watery eyes, so it happens. what I'm going to do is waterline with my brown. Even though we have the black, it's okay. It's going to be like a really dark black brown. So just waterline your lower lash line with the LA Girl Glided Gel Eyeliner in the shade Bronze. Don't be scared to bring it down a little bit. With my JH37, I'm going to use the shade Tan-tation, and I'm just going to smoke that out. Then with the shade Smoking Hot, I'm going to put that closer to my lash line. I'm basically repeating what I did in my lower on my wing. I'm putting it on my lower lash line. If you do want to keep it very clear, you can do that. You don't have to go too smoky. It just depends on whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to use my T54 brush, and I'm going to use the second darkest shade, which is Untamed right here, and really just tightline and create your wing. So this is just really defining your wing. Then again, go back in with the first brush, which is the JH37 brush, and just blend it out. So with your angled brush, just use the black again, just to tightline everything. I'm going to use the lightest shimmer palette, which is this one, which is Diamonds and Pearls. And I'm going to put that in my inner corner. Just because I do want to be a little bit more extra, I'm going to use this shade right here, which is called Foxy Lady. And I'm going to put that to connect with the inner corner highlight. Just because I do want it to be a little bit more brown. For setting spray, I'm going to use two Milani products, and I'm going to use my Milani Make It Last setting spray first. Now I'm going to use my Make It Dewy setting spray from Milani. Honestly, I don't recommend these products. I just want to get them over with. I feel like their sprayer sucks. I just want to finish them and never buy them again. They're really good. It's just their spray sucks. It goes two ways only, and it doesn't disperse really nicely through the face. So peace out. I'm gonna do my mascara and lashes off camera, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with lashes, and I'm about to do my lips on camera. But for mascara, I use my Maybelline Last Sensational mascara, and for lashes, I use, of course, my favorite brand, the Makeup Shack, in the style My Everything, which I honestly feel it's such a very pretty fluffiness to the look. So I think it's very perfect. Now for lips, I don't have anything from, like, you know, something that you can get from Walmart or something, but I do have ColourPop, and it is very inexpensive, so we'll just use this lip liner. It's my ColourPop lippy pencil in the shade Bossy. I kind of want to match to my shirt, so why not? Then I'm going to use a mixture of my Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit matte lipsticks in the shade Missy and Fierce and Flame of the Game. So I'm going to use Missy and Fierce on the outer corner, and then Flame of Game in the middle. Okay guys, so this is the final look. I hope you enjoyed this date night classic smoky wing situation. I did want to match with my shirt just to give me a little bit of oomph. And so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you liked it, like and comment on this video, subscribe to my channel, and if you have any requests on anything, you know, just comment down below what you want to see next, and I'll catch you guys on my next one.